Hi everyone, Astrid here. Welcome to AviArt class lesson 6. We're going to be creating a gallery wall in this lesson. You can feature your own work on this gallery wall. Your artwork can be 3 or more of your favorite past Avi looks, or you can create new looks if you're feeling ambitious. But you're welcome to use ones that you have already done. As I always say, I encourage you to be creative. Put as many frames on the wall as you like, or add your own unique touches to this project. I do these art lessons with the hope that you can learn new things, so I appreciate it when you apply the techniques that I show you, but make it your own because that's what makes it art. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about what you will need for this lesson. I created my room in pieces. The floor, the molding, and the brick are all individual pieces, or images, I should say. Here's a tip to enter into Google image search. Try empty room and you'll see what comes back in the results is a lot of different variations you can choose and build from. Then search wallpaper or brick wall, or you can go ahead and paint your wall a special color if you like. Whatever you like, sky's the limit. Be creative. Find a wood floor or a concrete floor or a tile floor, again, whatever you like. You'll also need some directional lighting. I searched for spotlights and found these cool stainless steel ones. I added the actual light separately, and I'll show you how I did that. If you're using PyZap or any of the web-based editing sites, I'm not sure how it will work, so maybe you want to find some lights that already have the lights turned on, per se, in that case. Then you'll need a frame. I just used the same frame and duplicated it, or a series of frames. So feel free to mix and match frames. It doesn't have to be the same one. Like I said, I duplicated mine because I wanted a more symmetrical, modern, clean look. And then, of course, you'll need your screen captures of your favorite Avi looks that you want to use to go inside the frames. I've had a chance to look at PyZap a little closer, and I have to say to those of you who use it, do really amazing work with it. But I realize that to do these layered works, you have to start with your bottom layer first. So I advise you to start with your floor and then your wall, or wallpaper, whatever type of wall you're using, and then build your frames, or rather your art, I think it goes, and your frames, and then your lighting on top of that. But that's basically how we're going to do it in Photoshop or GIMP too, so the structure will be easy for you to follow. Now, unfortunately, I have not kept all of the individual pieces of my gallery wall, so I'll show you how I built my layers. Then we'll get to the lighting and shadows. I don't think this is, I've actually labeled it easy because I don't think anyone's going to have a problem with this. I think all of you know how to do this type of work already, but what I wanted to do was just teach you some tips and tricks about lighting and shadows. So I'll show you that. My image is 1024 pixels wide by 768 pixels high. So it would be great if you could make yours at least that size or similar, so you have enough room for everything and the frame pictures will be large enough to actually see properly. Okay, so here in Photoshop, on the bottom right, I'll just drag this layers one here so you can see the way I did my layers. And let me just make all these invisible for now so I can show you how I built it. So, okay, so start with your, actually what I would probably do is start with the floor first. Here I'm showing you the brick wall, but I merged my floor and my molding together, so that's why I had to layer it on top like that. Okay, so then you're going to choose your looks that you like and the frame or frames that you like, and just remove the backgrounds and the center so that you can frame your art. And then, of course, as real artists, you should sign your artwork. So do that. If you are using the same frame like I did, you can just make duplicates of that layer and then position them the way you want on the wall. Okay, so let's not worry about the lights right now. You can see this layer here called black gradient. I just made a shadow around the room, partially because the lighting will show up a little bit better, but it just looks a more atmospheric, realistic. So I'll show you how I did that. Let me just make that invisible and add a new layer. Again, I'm not quite sure how it works in PiZap, but just do your best. So you always want to make sure with a gradient that the top color is black, and then right by the paint bucket or gradient tool, you want to just go as close to the, we're going to do the left hand side first. Take it right to the edge, then just hold the mouse button down, drag it about a third of the way, and just make sure it's as straight horizontally as you can get it. Release, and there we go. And we'll just play around with the opacity as well a little later. And again on the right side, drag it about a third of the way and release. And then I'm going to do another one just on the bottom by the floor, but I want it really shallow. So go to the edge at the bottom and just, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here well enough, but maybe about halfway the floor depth, or not even. Oops, I wasn't straight. That's what happens in Photoshop anyways, if you don't hold it straight and release. There you go. So that's how you make a shadow, shading, I guess you could call it. And now I'm just going to move the opacity down on this layer. Just, I don't want it too dark. And also, I would put that layer underneath the frames, just so that once we add the lighting, the frames will look a little more lit up. Okay, so then you want to take the spot lamps that you found and remove any background from them, size them, and place them where you want them to go. You can do 3, you can do like a whole row, whatever you like. I just decided on 2 directional ones like this. And then you can see when I turn the lights on, I have a white gradient that I added, and I'll show you how I did that. So I would just make a layer below the lamp. And then the way I did it, and I'm not quite sure how this works in GIMP, you could probably just make a white gradient and then slice it, but it may work. This is how I did it. I took the like the quick select tool, or in Photoshop it's called the polygonal lasso tool, and I just made a triangular shape. And then you want to make sure that it's white, or even what looks nice is just a really pale yellow. That would also be considered more realistic. And then while it's selected, you just take the gradient tool from the top of the lamp and release about almost to the end, and you get that nice stream of light. And then on that layer, I would just adjust the opacity about like that, and which is about 40%, let's say. And then what I did is I just added a very soft blur so the lines weren't quite so sharp. I just did a blur, but let's just try a Gaussian blur. Yeah, at about 4 pixels, the radius. I think that looks quite nice, nice and soft. And that's it. Like I said, it's pretty easy. It'll be fast depending if you want to use some of your old work, or like I said, go ahead and make new ones, depending how many frames you want. If you want to add extra things, if you want to add some pieces of furniture on your gallery wall, like a nice chair here or something, go right ahead, be creative. But the main focus and the focal point that I'd like you to show in this art is a gallery wall, and let the art, the pieces of art that you choose, be the focal point. And that's it. I hope you have a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see your gallery walls.